Hello, Flosstube.
Greetings.
I'm Laura.
I'm Joe.
Welcome to the Slovak Farm.
This is the farm where we grow cross stitch.
One stitch at a time. Today is Monday, November 11th. Happy Veterans Day, Remembrance Day, Armistice Day, whatever your country calls it.
Thank you to everybody who
Thank
got
you
shot at so that I can be a dork on YouTube.
Thank you to all our veterans. Maybe, hopefully, possibly, somewhere streaming across our faces are two pictures of my grandfathers who are both veterans. My dad's dad was in the Navy during World War II, and my mom's dad was in the Army. He was in between World War II and the Korean War, so he didn't see active duty, active service, fighting service. I don't know what they call it. There's a term for it. Couldn't tell you what it is. So, thank you all. If you are feeling some kind of way after last week, don't worry. Lots of people are.
No offense, but I hate to say this, but don't put it in the comments. I don't need World War comments.
I don't need it in the comments. I'm just saying, lots of people are... I mean, everybody's feeling some kind of way after last week, let's be real. Yeah. It's kind of a not busy week. I was kind of trapped in the house on Wednesday again because they were working on Wednesday and Thursday because they were working on, well, let's see, Wednesday they worked on digging up sections of like the road bed that needed fixed and fixing that. And then Thursday they were pulling up concrete where the street crossing is because, you know, we're growing a lot. It was very noisy. 2 days, that's all I can say. Really. Wednesday night we did have New York Guild. Our boxes aren't finished. I need to get those FFO'd. Finish getting those finished.
I was actually going to suggest doing that on Saturday.
I was going to say, that would be a good project for the weekend because I don't think we have anything going on.
Well, I got something going on Sunday.
Sorry, they're pulling in a truck over across the street for part of the...
Big truck.
Big truck with, it looks like they're the concrete forms for...
Next door.
Next door. What do you have going on Sunday? Oh, you're
Your
fixing my
car.
It's fixing my car.
Also, order that part.
It should actually, I think it's here.
Okay, good.
My car, when you turn it on, the fan goes click, 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 click.
I found the problem. I just need to borrow her parents' garage because they have a 2-car garage that's big enough for me to sit there with my feet sticking out because I gotta go take out the glove box and then crawl underneath the dashboard. Which means my feet are gonna be dangling all kinds of away, and I just don't feel comfortable doing that in the driveway.
Well, yeah, probably for the best. It's gonna be a bit of a busy week this week because EGA is Thursday. I've got a couple things going on. I keep thinking there's something going on Saturday. There's really not. There's just a drive-through. The Holy Name Society, the men's social group over at the church, is doing their kielbasa dinner, but they're doing it drive-through style. So you basically have to pre-order, so they don't have any extra food. And yeah, we have to drive through and pick it up after church. I keep thinking there's something going on because of it. Like, I don't know what's with my brain. So, hopefully you all had a good week.
My week's going to be interesting.
Your week's going to be busy, but it'll be okay.
Basically, we're backed up at work because a vendor that we no longer use had a really big a list of things to do on this in November. Now it's just us to do. There's a lot of it, so me and my coworker volunteered overtime before we were voluntold overtime.
Well, there you go. All right. Why don't we shout out our commenters?
Andrea, Teresa, Andre, Sarah, and Lynn.
Thank you all so much for commenting, and thank everybody who spends a little bit of time with us each week. We do appreciate it. Moving along to whips.
Got a little bit of something.
How did you stitch this week?
During the retreat, during the meeting.
Oh, that's right, you did stitch. Oh, Jesus.
I was very motivated by sheer anger and spite.
My brain was not functioning Wednesday night.
Carolyn Manning Designs, right?
Yes.
Ribby!
Oh, I gotta remember to download the start picture for one of my whips. Squirrel!
I got the last diamond.
Yay!
Because I finally found this guy.
Well, it was right where you thought it was.
Yeah, it was one of my two spots. It just wasn't in the bag, so I didn't have it, and it was seriously cheesing me off that I didn't have it. So I made it a point to bring this with me for a meeting, so that way I can get it done. And I didn't think I was actually going to enjoy the project. Wound up enjoying it a lot. So
our project Wednesday night, one of our guild members gets these really cool boxes from her work. Well, they've changed the design a little bit, but and they're really nice, sturdy boxes. They have magnetic closure. She figured out how to take the box, kind of decoupage some scrapbooking paper on there, make it like this really kind of nice, cool little box to put stuff in. So that was our project, and then earlier in the year we had done a stitched piece. So kind of the point was to finish that stitched piece and put it on top of the box.
I'm not doing that.
We haven't got to putting the top on the box yet. We did decoupage our paper on it. I was covered in glue, as always. When I touch glue, I am like a kindergartner and just wear it.
I have to finish decoupaging mine. I didn't put the outer layer because something about doing that and then having it in the car, I just saw it sticking to the side of the car.
Which was a good idea, because when I put mine in containment because it wasn't completely dry, I have a couple pieces I need to take some marker and touch up. It's not that big of a deal. My paper is wood grain, so all I have to kind of do is touch it up with a little bit with a marker, because where it kind of got mucked up is going to have the stitched piece, and it's going to have the around it, the cording around it, so it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Alright, let's start with... I'm loving it. Let's start with Bing Crosby week. In Daily 30, we will start with the Sal prompt, which was my Star Touched Meadow December block. And this is on just a piece of white 18 count Aida, but I got 314 stitches done, worked in this column. So, yeah.
Yeah, that was trying to help.
Oh, well, I'm done showing it. That's all there is to show.
Sorry, I'm a little scatterbrained.
Not much to talk about it. I mean, that's where we got. Right. And then, so, for prompts for Bing Crosby week, stitch on something you started with a buddy, and stitch on a whip of choice and talk about what you do or listen to while stitching. Mostly it's TV, sometimes I'll throw in an audiobook. I started Patriotic Picnic by Primrose Cottage.
Honey. I can answer that question real easy. She's listening to the Weather Channel.
Generally. And I got my needle stuff. I did 448 stitches on between those two prompts. So I got the cab of the truck, and then I started on The quilt that's in the bed of the truck hangs over the bed of the truck because the thought of stitching all the way out, whoa, I was like, oh, that's going to be a lot. So I was trying to make it a little bit more conducive to counting. I am using a Silks for You on the truck. So when I pulled my colors, the two called for specialty flosses are a red and a blue, Weeks Dye Works. I pulled two different blues because I wanted a little bit of a darker blue for the truck, which this end has some serious variegation in it that kind of looks like weathered spots, which looks really cool. So I have another blue for other parts of the chart that's a little bit lighter. And then I pulled a light and a dark red to kind of work with colors if I need to, if I don't have enough of my light blue or I don't have enough of the red. I know where I can vary it between the light and the dark. That's what I'm trying to say. There's a plan in my head. There's reasoning in my head. We may get there. If we don't, great. If we do, I'll explain. You'll get a visualization of it. Alright. Stitch on a whip you could win an award for. And stitch on your most expensive whip. This is Quaker Ball by Textured Treasures. Yes, this is my most expensive whip. Yes, you could win an award if you execute this properly. I'm not going to have it judged to get an award because I'm not going to put all this work in there for everybody to pick apart what I have done wrong to it. That's all there is to it. So this is just stitched on 28 count. It's called Denim Joblin. I have to fold it in half because of how we're doing it. So that is all 12 of the square pieces. I did 465 stitches on this, and I need to remember a lot of this I need to do time-wise because counting stitches on this is just challenging. So I did this block, which looked really, really complicated, but actually wasn't once I got the instructions. And then I stitched the square for this block and this block and filled them all in. This block here, which doesn't look all that complicated, took me an hour and a half. It was very, very frustrating. And then I also started, I did the cross-stitch outline of the first octagon. There's 8 sides. The hexagons are on the greenish fabric. So I am making progress on it. It just is taking me forever.
You're fine.
Now that I have all of my stuff, I'm going to, we're going to make some good progress on it. Oh, put the pattern back in the... And yes, the pattern is in book. Which, okay, so you look at this and you go, the pattern is a book. It is very detailed instructions. She gives you very detailed instructions on how to create each stitch, on how to measure, on how to put your blocks, how to measure, how to do each stitch, how to put all of the beads on. It is very detailed. And the finishing instructions are part of this. Very worth it. She does a fabulous job with her instructions. When I finish this, I would like to stitch another one of her projects. I will probably go one at a time because her kits are very expensive, but you do get the fabrics, the flosses, the beads, her detailed instructions. You get everything you need. I think with the exception of finishing on most of them. So, it's not that I necessarily mind that they're expensive, but they are expensive. So, one at a time is how it's going to have to be. And this doesn't use any sort of crazy flosses. It uses DMC, Sulky, and it uses DMC and Sulky. DMC embroidery floss, number 8 pearl cotton floss, and then a 12 weight Sulky. There's a handful of each. And beads and treasures. And it was good. It's good.
It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good.
It's good. Okay. So the project I used my pass on, the prompt I used my pass on was to stitch on your favorite project from 2024 and talk about what project you are most excited to start in 2025.
Is it sad I would not be able to do that prompt?
Why?
I don't plan on starting anything new until I get Ruby done in 2027.
Okay.
So I have no idea. I don't plan that far ahead with my stitching. It's what hair is up my backside this time.
Next year is going to be the year of the sunflower. I have Sunflower Fairy from Mirabilia. I have Sunflower Fairy from Joan Elliott. I have, it's Carolyn Manning, that's a sunflower. I have, it's actually a Lindy Stitches. It's not something, the sunflower isn't in the name, but the dog is in a bunch of sunflowers. I have a lot of, oh, and I want to start Morning Glory, the one with the really big, the really tall one with the sunflower. I need to work on dyeing fabric for that. So I have, it's going to be the year of the sunflower. I also need to get the stuff together to start Morning Glory. Outside of just the fabric. Yeah. It's a little look into my plans. I have a few other things. I have a few other plans kind of rolling around in my brain. But. Alright, also, I did not write down what my stitch count on this was. Because that's how I rolled. I pulled out my last Simply Charming block. We're finishing up this block. To finish up, I worked on it kind of off and on throughout the week. And I got it done. This is on a piece of 32 count, just a tan that I dyed, or a brown that I dyed. You know. So all my Simply Charmings are done for the year. Yay! That wasn't the plan, but that's what happened.
The best laid plans of mice and men.
Right. So I stitched on that throughout the week. So for the weekend, I pulled out Shorts Block Run Hollow. I need to do this block, and I'm finished with the blocks I'm doing. I'm not doing all of the blocks. I've done the blocks with the verses in it, and I'm doing the memorial block. And I have to rechart the name on it because I'm putting my Grandpa Rodachi, who is in the Navy's, name on it. Fitting that I worked on this going into Veterans Day. I just now registered that I did that. I didn't plan it, but it works, and it's fitting. So, I had to start this on its own little piece of fabric because the big piece, it didn't have room. It is a little bit of a different color, but that's okay because it's a little bit of a different block than the other Shores blocks. I had this great plan for the Hawk Run Hollows, and then we moved houses. So, I'm reworking my Hawk Run plans. But I did 3 letters, E, M, and B. And that was 924 stitches. So I almost have the top where the boat goes done. This was a goal to finish all of this by the end of the year. I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, if you focus on it, you could. We're
going to see where we get focusing on it for the year, for the monthly. What I have left of the monthly. Which I think was 8 of the 10 letters. And I will make a decision when I do get there what I plan to do as far as using that for the December dash. It is full coverage. Like, that place where the inside, where the boat is completely filled in. And then where the In Memorial of is completely filled in. So, but, if I can get most of, like, the boat and the words done, the fill-in is just fill-in. So, it could be, it could be doable. Like I said, we're going to get to where we can get and then make that decision. I did today pull out options for December dash to the finish. That would be, options. Whether or not I do those, I haven't completely decided yet. It's just kind of an organic thing, I guess. When I get there, I get there. Is kind of how I feel. Mainly, I want to see how I do with Shores of Hawkrun Hollow. Before I make any decisions. So, alright, what else did I work on? Quaker Ball, where's Quaker Ball? Really, where's Quaker Ball? Oh, there it is. Check off on my little checklist. I'm going to do this on different paper next year because this is too small. I have to order my calendar insert for next year. I'm also getting a new cover for my counting book and dividers for my counting book because she'd be rough. Alright, let's talk haul. I do have some haul. I forgot to show you all this card kit. I got a couple card kits behind in showing you, I guess. Either that or I've shown you one twice. I know that I have not shown you this card kit because this came 2 weeks ago on a Monday and I didn't open it till after we filmed. It is Christmas cards. I really need to... I don't know what I need to do. I need to finish up the Christmas cards I'm working on. And then I picked up from the freebie table, it's a Lizzie Kate. It's a Lizzie Kate Boxers. I don't know, you get it in a CD case. You get the pattern, the fabric, and the button. No flosses. But it's summery things, and I think it's cute because I live for summer. I don't like winter. I don't like winter. You didn't pick up anything off the freebie table, did you? Okay. The leftovers from the freebie table are sitting in the back of my car waiting for me to take them to EGA on Thursday. Because that's what we do now. After our meeting on Wednesday, I load them up and haul them to EGA. And if nobody takes them from EGA, they end up going to a donation center. Usually like a charity thrift store. So like there's 2 thrift stores in Medina that utilize the money in the community. One a little bit more than the other, but they still utilize the money in the community. And then one of the EGA ladies volunteers at a thrift store that's part of the Summit County Animal Shelter or an animal rescue out in Summit County. I can't remember. So that's what we do. Plans? Do you plan to stitch this week?
I don't know if I plan on being conscious this week right now. I am tired. I feel sorry for everybody watching this video. I have yawned so many times. I don't know what I'm planning on doing because work. It's been a long time since I worked overtime.
That's like a Rihanna song. Work. Intelligible. Work. Okay. Well, I suppose we can talk my plans. I guess if we really want to.
Yes, we really want to. Now get to yapping.
So, Daily 30s prompts starting on Friday were U.S. presidents. feeling that. Okay. I have to read you all of this because it's funny. The first prompt. John Quincy Adams was the 6th President of the United States, serving from 1825 to 1829. He customarily took a nude early morning swim in the Potomac River in Washington, D.C. Anne Royal, the first U.S. professional journalist, knew of his 5 a.m. swims. After being refused interviews with the president time after time, she went to the river, gathered his clothes, and sat on them until she got her interview. Before this, no female had interviewed a president. Least of all naked. Stitch on a whip that has been a challenge for you and explain how you overcame that challenge. So, our offerings can be... I actually need to dye fabric. Start that, or that would be a good candidate. Wow. I've stitched on this. Quaker Turtle would be a candidate.
I was just going to say, I don't know if it's available, but Lace Corset would probably be the most challenging one you've ever done.
Lace Corset is available, and yes, there was challenges to it.
That one, the fact that you pulled that one out of your backside without ripping up half of it.
Well, and that's why this Celtic Valentine, I can't figure out where the problem is. I can't figure out how to fudge it. There's too much done to rip it out, so I have to dye a new piece of fabric and order a new set of flosses for it.
There's another one you can do, but I think you'd kill me if I suggested it.
Quaker Ball!
No! The one that is so challenging. It's a super mega powerful challenge one.
The one that's in timeout because it's challenging? Yeah. I cannot work on it right now.
Okay.
The term okay is credited to Martin Van Buren, who was raised in Kinderhook, New York. Van Buren was the 8th president, serving from 1837 to 1841. After he entered politics, Van Buren became known as Old Kinderhook. Soon, people were using the term okay referring to Van Buren, and the word okay was derived. Stitch on a whip with letters. Christmas in Blue has letters. Greyhound Year has letters. Jingle All the Way has letters. Hello, Bandy. Sampler book has
Greyhound
letters.
Year. It has to be. Bandy asked you to stitch on Greyhound Year. Can we tell it's food time?
And she probably has to P-O-T-T-Y. George Washington, the first U.S. president, serving from 1789 to 1797, never lived in the White House. The nation's capital was located in Philadelphia and several other cities before it moved to Washington, D.C. Stitch on a whip, you have taken on a trip. All of my whips have traveled. Just about all of my whips have traveled.
Lace Corset.
That one has definitely traveled.
Yeah, because I know you've done that when we're at a stitching events with me.
Yes.
Especially if you consider guild meetings and stitch-alongs.
I think, yes, this would work for this one as well.
She discovered my plan.
Okay. Number 4. Benjamin Harrison, the 23rd president, serving from 1889 to 1893, was the first president to use electricity in the White House. Shocking. Oh, wait, it gets better. After he got an electrical shock, his family often refused to touch the light switches and sometimes would go to bed with the lights on. That actually wasn't uncommon back then. Stitch on a whip that contains a source of light. Greyhound Year has a sun in it. That's a source of light.
Bandy's a source of light.
Bandy's a source of light and love. And she found a pretzel eye drop, so she's happily nomming away. Calvin Coolidge was the 30th president, serving from 1923 to 1929. A man of few words, a dinner guest made a bet that she could get Coolidge to say more than 2 words. When she told the president of her wager, he replied, "You lose." Stitch on your smallest whip. That's some humor I would have. But I have a free pass, so I'm going to do my free pass on that. Okay. That's plans for the week. I found the prompts really rather amusing in light of life.
Here's some good things about presidents.
So there's this guy on the Weather Channel. He works the Sunday morning, early morning shift. I believe it's a 6 to 9 shift. Reynolds Wolf. He does do some of the out and about reporting when they have major storms or whatever, but this man's party trick is you give him a year and he will tell you who the U.S. president was during that year. Any year. It's fantastic because when he's on air and they're talking about records, especially like old records from the early 1900s, the 1800s, he'll be like, "That was blah blah blah's presidency," and his co-host will be like, "How do you just know that? How do you just know that?" It is a pretty funny party trick, if you ask me, because I'm a history buff. So that's plans for the week. I got nothing else. Because we've talked about our whips, we've talked about some haul, and we've talked about plans. I have no announcements.
We're not going to have any announcements until the fat man delivers the presents.
Yep. After the first of the year, we'll have announcements. But anyways. Sorry, John. We are very glad you spent some time with us. We hope you enjoyed yourself. We hope you were entertained.
Are you not entertained? Because you should like, follow, subscribe, comment, bell notification thing, all the YouTube stuff. Because we skipped that.
Because I totally forgot about that. That was a good pickup on that. I realized it as I said, we hope you were entertained, that I had forgotten that part. I was like, oh, how's
I'm starting to run out of funny ways of saying, are you not entertained, in all honesty.
Okay, so we're going to probably stop doing that.
Yeah, because my brain's just a little...
Well, I may still say, we hope you were entertained, but we'll stop here a bit. Thank you all so much for joining us, and we hope to see you next week. Bye!
Welcome back to the Crazy Train. See ya!